Hello everyone. So today we are going to understand one of the most important topics in political science, which is election and representation. So have you ever thought, how does a country like India with crores of people decide who will rule? The answer is elections. So in this chapter we will understand how elections work, what system India follows, and how democracy actually functions in real life. How people choose their government in a democracy. We are going to see that. So first, see why elections are important. Elections are the foundations of democracy. So in small groups, people can sit together and take decisions. But in a country like India, that is not possible. So what do? We choose representatives, people who take decisions on our behalf. So that is why elections are important. In simple words, democracy means rule of the people, but through elections. So elections are the foundations of democracy. People cannot directly rule in large countries like India, so they elect representatives. Democracy means government of people through elections. So, can there be a democracy without elections? Let's think about this. Can there be democracy without elections? The answer is no. Because if people don't choose their leaders, then it is not democracy. But here's another important point, elections alone are not enough. If elections are not free and fair, then they are meaningless. Some countries hold elections, but results are already decided. So, real democracy needs free and fair elections. Now, what is direct versus indirect democracy? There are two types of democracy, direct and indirect. In direct democracy, people directly take decisions. For example, in ancient Greece, citizens used to gather and decide matters themselves. But in modern countries, this is not possible. So we have indirect democracy where people elect representatives. India follows indirect democracy. We vote and our representatives run the government. So indirect, people decide directly, and indirect, people elect representatives. India follows indirect kind of democracy. What makes elections democratic? So for elections to be truly democratic, certain conditions must be fulfilled. First, there should be free and fair voting. Second, equal value of each vote. Every vote must have equal value. Third is independent supervision. There must be a real choice for voters. And fourth is genuine choice of voters. The process must be impartial and transparent, and there must be real choice for voters. If any of these conditions are missing, elections lose their meaning. Basic questions about elections: who can vote, who can contest, how are votes counted, who conducted elections. All these questions are decided by a constitution. These rules are written in the constitution and they ensure free and fair elections. And that's why no government can misuse them. And this ensures that elections remain fair and trustworthy. Now let's understand first past the post system, FPTP. So India follows the first past the post system, also called the plurality system. And what is this? In this system, the candidate who gets more votes than all others is declared the winner. And the winning candidate does not need majority. India is divided into constituencies. Each constituency elects one representative, and the system is also called plurality system. Let's understand this system through an example. So there are three candidates. Candidate A gets 40% of votes, candidate B gets 35% of votes, and candidate C gets 25% of votes. So who will win? Candidate A will win. So whoever gets the highest votes wins. So this system is called the first past the post system, FPTP. Now we should look at the reality of the system, how the system actually is working. So in the 1984 Lok Sabha elections, the Congress party only got 48% of votes, but it won more than 80% of the seats. So how is it possible? Because it got the highest votes in many constituencies. This shows that in FTDPT, vote share and seat share may not match. So even without majority support, a party can win a large number of seats. What are the advantages of the system? It is simple and easy to understand. It gives quick result. It helps in forming stable governments. And most importantly, it creates a direct link between voters and their representatives. People know who to contact if they have problems. And what are the disadvantages of FPTP? Winner may not get majority support. Let's look at this one example. There are three candidates A, B, C. Candidate A gets 45% of votes. Second candidate gets 25%. Okay. And the candidate C gets 30% of votes. So obviously candidate A will win. But whoever voters voted for B and C are totally wasted because A won just by majority share. If we calculate uh, percentage wise, then this is 55%, right? But the 55% is not winning. 45% is winning. That means winner is not getting majority support. Majority is with B and C if we total them, but A is winning. So smaller parties get less representation due to the system. Votes of losing candidates are wasted, as we saw in the case of B and C. Whoever voted for B and C are totally wasted, and it leads to unequal representation. Now let's look at another system, which is proportional representation. In this system, seats are given according to vote share. For example, if a party gets 30% of votes, it will get 30% of seats. This system is more fair because it reflects the actual support of parties. Okay, so if a party gets 30%, it gets 30% of seats. There are two types of PRs. In some countries like Israel, the whole country is treated as one constituency, and in others, there are multi-member constituencies. Here, people vote for parties, not individual candidates, and seats are then distributed based on vote share. So, let's take an example for this. There is a nation like this. There are two parties or three parties. Let's say there are party A, party B, and party C. As in PR system, people vote for parties and not individual candidates. So party A gets 45% of votes, party B gets 25, and party C gets 30%. So 45% of seats will be allotted to A party, 25% of seats to B party, and 30% seats to C party, or whatever the seats are. Okay. So let's compare these two systems. In FPTP, voters choose candidates, and in PR, voters choose party. In FPTP, highest votes win, and in PR, there is proportional representation. If we talk about stability, then FPTP is highly stable and it is low stable as it gives fair representation. And in terms of fairness, it is less fair and it is more fair because in this votes are wasted and in this votes are not wasted. So why India chose FPTP? So India chose FPTP system for several reasons. Because it is simple and easy for a large population. It gives stable governments. It avoids too many small parties. And it is easy for voters to understand that whoever is getting the maximum number of votes wins. So it is easy for voters to understand and it matches Indian conditions. Now let's see reservation of constituencies. To ensure fairness, India has reserved constituencies. So some seats are reserved for scheduled caste and some are reserved for scheduled tribes. So this ensures that these groups get proper representation in politics. What does it mean? That throughout India there are some constituencies in which seats are reserved for SC and seats are reserved for ST. So why reservation is needed? Reservation is needed because of historical inequality. For a long time, certain groups were not given equal opportunities. So reservation helps in achieving social justice and equality. It helps weaker sections to thrive among the general population. So because of these reasons, reservation is needed. Now what is a Delimitation Commission? So the Delimitation Commission decides the boundaries of constituencies. It decides the constituents boundaries, it identifies reserved seats, and it works independently to ensure fairness in the elections. What is universal adult franchise? In India, every citizen above 18 years has the right to vote. There is no discrimination based on caste, gender, religion, or wealth. So, this is called universal adult franchise. It ensures equality in democracy. A right to contest elections. Not only can people vote, but they can also contest elections. Any citizen who meets certain conditions as given by Election Commission can become a candidate. So this ensures equal political opportunity. Now see what's our electoral reforms. So electoral reforms are changes made to improve the election system. They aim to make elections more fair, transparent and effective. And what are the problems in elections? Elections face several problems like there is money power, criminal candidates, booth capturing, fake voting, misuse of power. So these problems reduce fairness and trust in elections. And to solve all these problems, electoral reforms are made over the years so that these problems can be terminated. What are the most important electoral reforms? So to solve all these problems which we just saw, several reforms have been introduced. First is electronic voting machine (EVMs). So electronic voting machines have replaced ballot papers. Candidate affidavit candidates must declare criminal records. Every candidate standing for the elections should declare if they have any pending criminal records, and if they cheat on that, their candidature can be terminated. Then there is limit on election expenses. Any candidate cannot spend more amount as fixed by election commission on the elections. There are limits on election expenses, and all throughout the process is strictly monitored by Election Commission of India. So all these things improves transparency. Now, what is the role of Election Commission? The Election Commission of India plays a very important role. It conducts elections, ensures fairness, enforces rules, controls political parties, and it is an independent authority which makes elections trustworthy. So right now, Gyanesh Kumar is the 26th and current Chief Election Commissioner of India. So what we can conclude, elections are the backbone of democracy. India follows the FPTP system for simplicity and stability. Reservation ensures fairness and social justice. And electoral reforms make the system better. Free and fair elections are the key to successful democracy. Now you should read the content and material of the textbook, and if you have any questions, comment and we will discuss on it later. So thank you.